Hello, I am here with my client, Val, and he is going to share his story. It's been a really phenomenal, inspiring journey, and I want to just dive right in. So, Val, what was your situation when we met, when we started working together? How are you approaching your career and your job search?
So it's very interesting. When you and I met, that was a while ago, and I had already been on the job market for quite some time. And I had been applying with some various success to many places, and I had been getting some interviews, but somehow I always felt like I was a number there, not really someone who they were seriously considering. And there were always a whole bunch of other guys competing for the same position, and I always had doubts what's happening. It would take forever, and I would get to the fourth interview, and all of a sudden at the end, when I thought I had already gotten the job, they would reject me with no other explanation. And when you end up in a situation like that, it hurts tremendously. Regardless of how hard you try to detach from the outcome, you've already fought a really steep battle. And when you're at the finish line and that happens to you, you remember how many times I picked up the phone and I said, Olivia, help. Why is this happening?
Yeah.
So I approached you because I had pretty much run out of options. I had tried everything at my disposal, everything I knew about job search. I had already contacted everyone I knew, and I had no other options. I was desperate. And what I learned from you was absolutely indispensable. This approach, I have to say, and I have to admit first that I was very resistant initially, because I tried contacting people on LinkedIn and my success was limited to 0, and it did not give me that many results. And I kept applying through LinkedIn directly or through Indeed, and I had some success after that as well, but again, somehow I never ever got to the finish line. And what happened with your method was I got this referral. The company that was considering me did not even ask for a resume. They did not ask me for a cover letter either. They trusted the referral and they went right in, and it's all about who you know. Your network is your net worth these days. I think that's the most important part of my journey with you. That's the most important lesson that I learned. And what I would say to your future clients and clients right now is that they need to trust the process. They need to work on everything that you teach them, especially the spiritual part. Because at the end of the day, it's a mixture, it's a balance between the spiritual and the strategic. What's happening on one end and what's happening on the other. You need to show up in good spirit. You need to show up confident. And if you're like me, I was basically heartbroken when I met you because of me being on the job market for way too long, because of some other personal issues I had with my family. I was crushed. You remember, I couldn't even say my name when we initially met, and I was stuttering and my voice was not even, it was not confident, and it took a while.
Yeah.
It took a while for me to recover from that state. But what's really important is that I took the steps and I kept persisting no matter what. I got to so many finish lines at so many companies and never really got the big reward at the end. And I got broken so many times. I kept persisting because I had no other choice.
Well, let me ask you this. What was the biggest shift to lead to this breakthrough? Because you know it's an inner game. Yes, strategy and tactics were very important. You had to get off the job boards, off the recruiters, and you did it kicking and screaming. You eventually bought in, right? And so what were some of the biggest challenges you had to overcome to get this breakthrough in your career?
The biggest challenge was here. Fighting with myself and my demons. I think that was the hardest part for me. And again, I can't say how great your help was because I already kind of knew what I had to do before I met you, but you channeled that and you gave me a direction and you said, this is what you need to focus on. This is what you need to do. This is the process. It's tried and tested. Just keep doing it and you'll get there. And more or less, I've been following that. I've been doing the Ho'oponopono on a daily basis. I've been trying to make myself feel happy on purpose on a daily basis and raise my vibration. And of course, do the other part of everything, which is talk to people.
Marketing, outreach, yep.
Exactly. Just be out there there. And it's a combination of everything that worked out eventually. And I think I was just being stubborn in the best possible ways. And initially, I was being stubborn in a negative way, but in this case, what worked for me at the end of the day was my persistence.
Absolutely. You stayed committed to the process and you broke through, and the committed always wins, because at the end of the day, you made it and you're here now. So I'd love to hear, where are you now? What's the biggest lesson on the other side of all of this?
The biggest lesson is follow the game plan, be persistent, never get discouraged, regardless of how many times you get rejected. And something else that I wanted to tell you is I limit myself when it comes to salary. I knew how much I cost, and I knew that I wanted a job which would fit within certain range, and I applied only for jobs that were within that range. To me, it's pretty much the same when you apply for a $50,000 job, $80,000 job, and a $120,000 job. The effort is the same. Of course, you have to use different language, you have to show different facts on your resume, you have to demonstrate different skills, but the effort when you apply is absolutely the same. And you need to vet your companies first and completely disregard those that are offering lower salaries or salaries that you're not going to be happy with. So in my case, I ended up with a job that was almost 30 grand higher than what I had been previously paid. And I wanted that. I did not want to fall below that threshold.
Wow.
And it took me a while, but I got there.
That's huge. So that must have been at least a 40% increase, it sounds like. That's huge.
It was a lot. I'm going to be able to be much more comfortable right now and start planning for the future financially, which was something close to impossible with my previous position.
What a huge breakthrough and transformation. Is there anything else you'd like to add to anybody watching this that you want to leave them with?
I wanted to thank you so much for everything that you gave me, because it was not just tangible. I made a lot of friends. I made some really, really great friends through this group. And those are people, you know them. Those are people that will most likely be friends for life. It's not just the job that I got. It's also the group. It's also the knowledge. It's also the opening of my heart. The intangible in my particular case is even more valuable than the tangible. You can't really put a price on connections, because at the end of the day, those connections will work for you professionally as well. And that's what you need to do. And here's something that I wanted to mention, which I think is absolutely crucial to every single one of your clients and your future clients. I do believe that your strategy, your method is so successful that people need to turn it into a mentality and a lifestyle, even after they get hired. As a matter of fact, that should be their lifestyle right away after they get hired. Start creating a network right away. Start reaching out and touching people's hearts. Start asking, how can I help you? What can I do for you? Of course, in an organic and natural way, because that's how things happen. Why? It's because this is how things work at this point in this country. And I'm questioning why submitting a resume online is even something that people do, because apparently nobody really...
It's not going to work for six figures. It's just, you're not going to stand out, right?
Yeah, companies don't consider that. You're just a tiny number. What matters the most is who referred you and how good that referral was. The quality of that referral is absolutely crucial. So the quality of the referral is based on how well you know the person and how much you touch that person's heart, so that that person in turn can turn into an agent for you and can vouch for you, and you can get a job that's really, really, really good.
And this is where I want to wrap us up, but having access to executive C-level one-off is critical to breaking through in your career, getting their attention, building that value, that exchange of energy. It's critical, or you're never going to really break through at a high level. So I'm just so glad you did it. Now it's your new lifestyle. Watch out. You're going to be on a great trajectory. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you. I'm the one to thank you. Thank you, Val.